Alright, I have stopped queuing during missions. If I want to queue, I just go get a drink or something and come back. This is post-com, by the way. After not having played for like 3 months and then jumping straight into a dungeon the day after I start playing again. Ooh. Let's just say I'm not pleased with my performance. Let me tell you, it went a lot better than the last, well not the last, the next flashpoint. Because there were certain roles were taken by other players, shall we say. It doesn't happen a lot through this dungeon. I specifically only remember it for one boss fight. But I had a hard time keeping aggro. And I'm not sure if that's because one of the guys' DPS was just really good, or if I was just really bad at aggro management. You'll see that eventually. We'll get to there. One of the guys is disconnected, so waiting a bit for him. He comes back pretty quickly. Like he's already back. I'm just waiting for him to run up, get through the loading screen and run up. I'll tell you what, I'm glad to be playing this again. My friend's been trying to get me into Final Fantasy 14. But I can't do 2 MMOs at the same time. Not with work and everything. I don't have time. I barely have time to record a video. So, but the moment I do get spare time, I may have to put time into Final Fantasy 14 because that looks really interesting, and he does want me to play it with him. Him and his other mates. I've taken a look at Final Fantasy 14 just out of interest. I really enjoyed the job system. Instead of, okay, create a character. Alright, what class are you? Are you healing? Are you tank? Are you DPS? Okay, good. You're stuck with that till the end game. With Final Fantasy 14, it's like, okay, what's your starting class? Oh, you picked like a conjurer, so you want to be a healer. Okay, cool. By the way, if you go buy a lance, you can become a lancer. If you go buy this one-handed sword and this shield, you can become a tank. You just switch classes based on whatever weapon you have equipped. I like that. So you can go, you know what? I don't feel like tanking this dungeon. Can anyone else do it so I can DPS? I don't feel like DPSing. Can anyone else take this so I can be a healer? Granted, you're going to have a lot of sets of gear in your inventory, because you're going to have to switch out your gear every time you change class. But I still like the idea. Also, with the expansion come out, and there's 3 new jobs: the Dark Knight, I think it's the Mechanist, and like the Arcanist or something like that. Mechanist. I'm not too sure, but they've recently added new jobs or classes. I'm not sure which is which, because there's what you start with, and then there's the things that unlock after level 30 of certain, I don't know, classes. I'm not sure which is which. I think it's the starting ones are classes, and then you unlock jobs. And jobs is like white mage, black mage, monk. But to unlock those, you have to be like level 30 in like pugilist, and 15 in something else. So it's a really good sounding idea for a level up and job system. One thing that'd be a bit annoying is that, like, say you level up to level 30. What's one of the tank ones? I think it's a gladiator. Let's say you level up to like level 30 gladiator, and then you switch to conjurer, because I don't think anything needs warrior. For the sake of the argument, let's say you level up to level 30 gladiator, and then you switch to conjurer. The conjurer's level 1. You've got to level up again. But it's understandable because, you know, you're leveling up the class and not the character. The character grows with the class, but if you give a sword and shield guy a magic wand, they're not going to know what to do. They're not going to be instantly level 30 skill at that. So it's really interesting. Here I'm just asking if there's anything I need to know about this boss, and it's just, you know, the boss and the 2 ads keep aggro. I struggle with this boss, I will admit, because what the guy does is he has this thing where he can freeze you, and when he freezes you, you lose all aggro. So, as you're seeing, he froze me after I had used my AoE taunt, so I've now got to pick everyone up one by one, and he froze me again. So now the things have gone off. Now the boss has gone off. So I've got to put more faith in my AoE attacks, which aren't good. Granted, right here I should be using force grip on at least one of them, just to stun them a little bit. At the time it didn't come to mind, so I was more panicking that I was failing as a tank because I couldn't pick up the aggro. It all goes well though. Like, no one dies, no one's health drops too low, but it's mainly because the healer's on point. Yeah, so I can't say I did well for myself here. He throws me again, but thankfully I had my taunt up. I'm looking at this now, and I'm wondering the same thing as when I was fighting this part. I'm in the area effect around him. What's that doing? What's that do? Because normally when you see that on the floor, you move out the way. Nothing happened to my knowledge.
Mandalorians. The harder you hit us, the tougher we get.
I had to run off quickly here. And here, that was a mistake, because as I had to quickly leave, I just quickly glanced at the stats that the item had, and needed for it, because it was better than what I'm wearing. However, and because the preview window is small, I can't tell if they've said it yet or not, or until when I get back. But that was medium armor. As a tank, I want heavy armor. Yeah, there it is. Needing, yeah, they say something like needing on medium armor, and my response is just like, oh shit, was that medium? My bad. Thankfully, they were all cool with it. Like, no one particularly wanted it. They were just like, no, it's cool, man, it's cool. Better stats, it's alright. Yeah, it looks good too. So it had better stats and it looks better than the weird mask thing I have, so I'm fine with that. I didn't equip it for some reason. Like, I'm not sure why, but I don't remember when I equip it. It's probably after this pool. I guess not. Oh wait, am I equipping it? Yep, there we go. Just alternate in between the two turrets. Taunt one every now and again, just to keep the aggro up. But yeah, I'm really glad I'm playing this again. I haven't played an MMO in so long, and despite my somewhat crippling addiction to WoW back in the day, I really enjoy MMOs. I really do. I played this. I played WoW. I was big in the RuneScape way back in the day. Does Elsword count as an MMO? I mean, sort of. I played Elsword for a bit. I couldn't get into it too much though, because there was something about the weird 2.5D nature to the entire game. Like, there was a world map that you'd have to traverse, but it was 2.5D, and you'd have to choose what planes, what platforms to run along to get to the right city. And if you don't notice a platform, or if you don't drop down or jump up to the right plane, you'll carry on walking and you'll be in the wrong place, and it just... like, it wasn't overly complicated, it just didn't feel right. I probably still have my Elsword account, but I don't know the password. What else did I play? Oh, I was big in the Guild Wars 1 back in the day. Like, big. Big into Guild Wars 1. That was before I even played WoW. So, really, it was a downgrade from going from Guild Wars 1 to World of Warcraft. In visuals, anyway. I don't remember how Guild Wars 1 plays. Because that was so long ago. I remember that I had one of every class, just out of curiosity. I can't remember what I mained or anything. I think I mained, now that I think about it, I think I mained the equivalent of a hunter from World of Warcraft. Can't remember what it was called, but it's the bow and arrow guys. Because I distinctly remember trying to bullshit ways where I could jump up to places where my enemies can't reach and just shoot them down. But I don't remember. Almost all of my memories from most games have been, what do you call it? Have been replaced by my crippling World of Warcraft addiction. Like, everything was just... because I was on that game for the longest. I think I was addicted to that game for like 6 years. Something ridiculous like that. Like, I remember Burning Crusade was either it had just come out or it was gearing up to being released when I joined World of Warcraft. Because I remember whenever I want to do anything, people would always be like, no, we've got to get to the new content, And I'm like, but I haven't experienced the old content yet. I want to do AQ40. No. We don't have time for AQ40. We don't have time for AQ40. Come on, man. We've got to get the, what was it called? Black Castle? The one where Illidan was, I don't remember. Black Temple. That was it. It's like, guys, I want to do AQ40. No! No, it's all about the Black Temple. Okay. Alright, I guess. I mean, sure. So yeah, there was that. I joined that game a bit late, so that's my own fault, really. Can't complain too much. Then I remember Wrath of the Lich King. That was probably my favourite expansion. Wrath of the Lich King. That was great. Like, Vanilla WoW story was rather... Because I never played Warcraft. And Vanilla WoW story basically expected you to play all of the Warcraft games and know all of the lore. So the story you were given was either jumbled mess. This is my opinion from thinking back like 10 years or so. Vanilla WoW story was either jumbled mess or it was, okay, good guys, bad guys, fight. Thrall bad. The guy who leads Stormwind, good, fight. It's like, okay, but why? Good guy, bad guy, fight. Alliance, Horde, fight. Okay, yeah, I get it, but it's like, right, fight. Fight, damn it. Then Burning Crusades story came out, which was more or less, okay, good guys, bad guys, fight, but in new places. Okay? Good guys, bad guys, fight. New places, but there's also a third group we have to fight, but while fighting them, we have to still fight each other. Okay. I don't. Why are we chasing this Illidan guy? Again, I hadn't played Warcraft or even read the books. This is the fights where I noticed that I was doing extremely poorly on maintaining aggro. Anyway. So it's like, okay, but who is this Illidan guy? Oh no, he's Illidan, we gotta kill him. Okay, but why? Because he's Illidan. Okay. I mean, sure. Then after the Lich King came out, it was like, okay, who is the Lich King? Oh, he's Arthur's. What does that mean to me? Here's a dungeon where you go back in time to learn who Arthur's is. It's like, okay, thank you. Here's a quest line that explains his fall to the Frostmourne. Okay, I'm cool with this. Okay, are you up to speed on who the Lich King is and who Arthur's is? Yeah. Are you up to speed on his goal to wipe out all living life? I believe I am. Good, kill him. Alright. Down with that. By the way, Horde and Alliance, somewhat on teams now. They all got to fight this one guy. Okay, I'm cool with that. It's cool. Thank you. Thank you for all this information. It also helped that, in my opinion, Ice Crown was one of the best raids. I mean, it was annoying, but it was one of the best raids. It's also the best, one of the best in my opinion, because the first boss drops a scythe. Like, I don't care what you say, it's a scythe. It's an impractical weapon, but to me, scythes are one of the best looking weapons to exist. So I was like, here's a cool raid, by the way. Scythe. Glowing scythe. And I'm sitting there with my DK. My Death Knight, because at that point, by the time Wrath of the Lich King came out, I was like, okay, you know what? All these years, I have really enjoyed Druid, but I want to see what this Death Knight is about. Oh god, Death Knight's the best thing in the world. I will never go back. Those were naive days. Back when I first booted up the game. I was like, oh, so Alliance are the good guys. I want to be a good guy. Okay, so I'll be Alliance. What classes does Alliance have? Ooh, I can be a druid who turns into animals. Deal! Granted, I was like 13, something like that. So I was like, okay, I'm a good guy and I can turn into animals at will. Awesome. Fucking awesome. And I'm not gonna lie, it was. I've made plenty of druids. through my history of World of Warcraft. None of them I leveled as far as my first ever character. You see, I got him to max level in every expansion because he's my first ever character. But then it's like, okay, Burning Crusade, they finally have a race that I like on the Horde side, the Blood Elves. Let's see what this is about. And I'll be honest, my Blood Elf character I didn't really enjoy. Blood Elves were fine, but it was like, do I want to be a mage, a warlock, a priest, or paladin? Like, I can't complain too much because they were the first Horde race to get paladins, but I've never liked paladins. Never liked them at all. So I made a Blood Elf warlock, and it was okay. But then I went back to my Night Elf. Then after Lich King comes out, I was like, alright. You know what? Let's go Blood Elf. Let's go Blood Elf Death Knight. See how that goes. Turns out Blood Elf Death Knight is my new main. I will never not use my Blood Elf Death Knight. So I was swayed to the Horde very easily. And then you find out through further research out of the game and in the game, and in Wrath of the Lich King, and in Cataclysm, that the Horde is actually just far more interesting. There's almost nothing to the Alliance apart from they are good guys. They do good guy things. Nothing really interesting about them in my opinion. I probably missed out a lot and I probably forgot a lot, but Horde stuff stuck with me. Nothing about the Alliance really stuck with me, apart from they're the Alliance, they're the self-righteous good guys. To be fair, they have reason to be self-righteous because when orcs first came to the world, they just sort of slaughtered every human and every sentient race they saw because they weren't orcs. But it's like, okay, but now can you sort of simmer down, guys? So yeah, that was my WoW experience. Going through the first 3 expansions, maining Druid and Death Knight, and then I played Cataclysm, but Cataclysm, huge flaws. The main flaws were like, it was a good idea what they did. Update all of the starting zones, all of the leveling content, which urged me to level, and it also urged me to create one new character of every race just to see the new starting zones and the new leveling. But after the level 60 content, you're back to Outlands. Nothing new has been done to Outlands. After that, you're back to Northrend. Nothing new in Northrend. It just felt like a letdown. And then after Northrend, you're expected to level, I think it was 5 more times in Cataclysm, to level 85. And then after the 5 more levels in the new zones, good zones, don't get me wrong, good zones. And the story was pretty good as well. I really liked the Dragonflight story that they were doing. It's like, okay, after you get through the story, you get the leveling. You want to raid, right? You want to raid? Okay. Firelands. This is the raid area. How do you unlock Firelands? Dailies. So what? You have to do the same 3 quests. You and everyone else in the game have to do the same 3 quests for about a month and a half. Okay. Then, can we do the raid? No. After that month and a half, you then get access to like 3 more quests. So you get 5 quests that you have to do every day for about another month. At that point, they'd lost me. They had lost me. I had enjoyed all the 11 content they had to show me. I'd gone through all the revamped zones and everything, enjoying the story. But at that point, it's just like, I'm not a hardcore raider. I enjoy raids. I'm not a hardcore raider. I don't want to be paying a subscription fee to do dailies and nothing else. So I'm gonna drop out of the game. When the raids come back, I might come back, or I'll just look up the continuation of the story on YouTube or the wiki or something. Which I ended up doing, I just looked it up. Then Mr. Pandaria came out and I thought, I might come back for that. Never did. Never did. I heard from several sources that Mr. Pandaria was not great. So I just never came back for that. And now there's the new one, Warlords of Draenor. But at this point, I'm just so disconnected and so disinterested that even the idea of a fractured timeline and going back to Outlands doesn't interest me all that much. And now there's a new one that's apparently been leaked. I'm not sure what that is yet, but I still gotta... I might take a look at it, I'm not sure. I probably won't play it, but still. I've just realised I've rambled about MMOs throughout most of this dungeon run.
Yes.
Wow.
Mandalorian himself has sent a broadcast to crime.
Wow, damn it. Okay.
The other clans will accept the dishonored survivors into their lowest ranks. And no Mandalorian will break a pact with the Empire again.
Well then. I guess that's it for this postcom.
They chose their fate and died as they deserved. As for the stolen Republic vessel, the Science Bureau is dissecting it as we speak. We now possess the latest Republic security codes and fleet positions. An unexpected
You're welcome, sir.
And one of great value.
Maybe Clan Varad died serving the Empire after all.
Perhaps. Go with the Empire's
Peace.
gratitude and that of Mandalore.